Hey, everybody. Welcome to the SyFy Sistas live premiere of the Mike McMahan interview. What's up, y'all?
What's up? What's up, fellow nerds?
Nerds. Hey, everybody. We are so excited to be here with you guys tonight. This is going to be fun. We have a really fun interview to present to you guys. We had a blast doing it, and we're really glad that you all could join us tonight.
Definitely.
Okay, don't forget to smash that like button. Mike, I got.
Why we're giggling again?
Somebody pulled a Fran.
I'm sorry. What? I can't even hear because my internet is wonky and I'm all sorts of behind. So.
Oh my goodness. So, basically,
it's fun to be live.
It's fun to be live. So, we're just gonna play the interview that we had, and then we'll come back and talk about it. How about that? Sound good? Yes, no, maybe so.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Here we go.
I love it.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
It is. So excited. All right. We're so excited to be here with you, Mike. It's just amazing. Like, you're wonderful and you're a personal hero to us. You know, we just love you.
Because I tricked CBS into giving me a Star Trek show.
Exactly.
You know it. And a great Star Trek
Definitely
show.
That.
Great. So,
Thank you.
You read our minds. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Okay, so Mike, starting at the beginning, because Lower Decks was personally one of my top 10 favorite Star Trek show episodes of all time, the episode Lower Decks. And I clearly it had an impact on you. Because you named a whole show, you made a whole show around it. Like, can you tell us a little bit about like what it was like for you when you first saw Lower Deck, the episode Lower Decks, and like how old were you? And
I was young.
What did you think then?
So I was born in '81, and so I had been watching TNG for a while, obviously, when Lower Decks the episode came out. And the thing that really struck about Lower Decks is it confirmed for me that my favorite part about Star Trek was okay for me to like, which was I liked in the first 4 minutes of an episode when everybody was hanging out, looking at Data's paintings or like drinking hot cocoa. And then the second the alien of the week showed up, I still liked it. I was like, couldn't we just have no conflict and hang and like
hang out?
Talk about like, well, you know, let's get Jordy a girlfriend, you know, like let's just hang. And then Lower Decks was like, it, you know, it had the same inversion of formula that I wanted to do, which was, the side characters get to be the leads. The B story gets to be what's a highlight. And obviously it wasn't a comedy, but it had a little, you know, all Star Trek has comedy moments because of like the humanity of it. But like, you know, that was the first episode where I'm like, oh, that's me. That's really me. Like I would be messing up trying to talk to Riker. You know what I mean? And then
and I love state, wrong country.
Yeah. And like Picard would also not like me. You know, like he'd be in an elevator with me being like, oh boy. You know what I mean? Like I get that. And so, you know, it really, when I was creating Lower Decks, it really just spoke to me to be like, that episode gives the permission that you don't get to see the big story. You know, that's what really made me kind of focus in on that. And I wanted to do a show where the big A story wasn't what brought you in. that you were there for the emotional stories and for the learning stories and for the people that aren't on the bridge. Cause like, you know, I mean, trust me, I don't know how to do new bridge stories after 750 episodes. I don't think anybody does, or some of them do. But I can do stories about the people who aren't even in charge of that stuff. And yeah, so that's the long answer to that, I guess. Is that good? Okay.
It's good. It's good.
So.
All right.
So Mike, after we watched the last episode already, and it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
You knocked it out of the park.
I'm like,
yeah, you did the damn thing. So we're very
I
proud
put a
of you.
seatbelt on a Starfleet ship.
Thank you.
Yes, you
About
finally. Well, my question is, after I heard the line, the Cerritos is the Enterprise of the support ships, I was wondering if that was the outline you brought to Secret Hideout when you pitched the show.
That's aspirational. That's when I pitched the show, I was like, we should never feel like the Enterprise. And then slowly over time, is that, you know, I've got all these big plans, all these like, I mean, look at the size of my forehead. I have a huge brain, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then I was like, you start doing it. And then you're like, oh shit, I thought of something better, because we wrote all this and we've had actors perform it and editors edit it and artists interpret it. I think I could do this better than my stupid brain thought. And so I like to leave it open to lean into those kind of better things. And so there was that one episode in season 3 where the Cerritos finds out that all the stuff you've seen on screen has actually made them famous among the Cali class. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
and that just kind of tracked it. Like it made more sense that like, they might not be the best in the fleet, but they're kind of the best of their part of the fleet. And that makes sense why you'd be seeing stories about that gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that. I like that answer. That's a good
Thank God. I'm just telling you how it feels. I don't know.
I'm just saying, you are being judged. So, you know, get it right, Mike.
Get it right, Mike.
You know, the only ones who can judge me.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I want to go in and pick that big brain of yours and ask this question. What character would you really love to have come into a Lower Decks episode that the rest of the writers' room just absolutely vetoed?
I love this question. I love this question because I love that you think anybody can veto Mike McMahan. Beautiful thing. The writers wish they could veto me. That's for sure. And they probably should be able to. I have not run into that. You know, I would say that Brad Winters, who you guys would love, is a producer on the show.
Oh, yeah.
We know Brad.
We know Brad.
You know Brad.
If you're listening,
I'll go to Brad.
You
I'll go to Brad first, and I'll say, "This is what I want to do," and I'll see if he makes gas face. You know what I mean? If he feels it, you know. And like, if he starts asking questions, and he's like, "Oh, why? And what do you think?" and we have a conversation. He's my first barometer because he was there when I was writing TNG season 8. You know, and like, in some ways, the way my brain works is I'm like, God, this would be a cool episode, and I'm willing to break some rules to get there. But Brad Winters is not. Brad Winters is like, if that doesn't go, like I told him about removing the hull of the Cerritos at the end of season 2. And he was like, don't do that. That's stupid. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, I'm like, no, it's based on an Enterprise episode where they remove a plate of the hull and it's like the whole, like, it's going to be awesome, you know? And he was like, oh, I thought you meant like, remove it so you could like see right through it, and like we had the whole conversation, but like he's the one who can push back on that stuff, because I know that at the end of the day he wants Star Trek to be good, and then he wants Lower Decks to be good, and that's really valuable to have. You know what I mean? Like that's not a yes man, you know. And then when it comes to characters, oftentimes it's like, you know, it's a conversation with Secret Hideout, it's a conversation with CBS, like we're all such fans of the show, and you know, is it worth doing? That's the number one thing. Is it worth it for their character? Is it worth it for our show? Like, I don't want to just do a thing where it's like, and guess who's here? It's the Noid from Domino's. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's got to like make sense in the show. It can't feel like a guest star for no reason. So, you know, nobody's ever flat out told me no. I am very careful. Like, I check in with the other showrunners to see if they're going to be using legacy characters, that kind of stuff. Because I want that stuff. Nobody wants to see Locarno in 3 shows. You want to only see him in Lower Decks, you know? So like,
gosh.
But that hardly comes up. Like, Lower Decks is so singular in what we do that like, that it's usually, I'm like, is anybody else using Nick Locarno? And it's like crickets. And I'm like, cool.
I love it.
Okay, so we've done a number of top 10 list shows as they relate to Star Trek. And one of the ones coming up that we're going to do is going to be a top 10 first seasons of Star Trek. Well, I mean, could be a top 10. I mean, we don't have 10, but we want to do it, you know, we're going to do a list of the top first seasons. We always rank on our show, like DS9 is one of our favorite, is pretty much hands down our favorite Star Trek series. Until you guys came along, and then you started getting them a run for their money, and it's amazing because
how many times they're like,
listen,
this little show.
Even if I told the writers day one of first season, my goal on this show isn't to be anybody's number one Star Trek show. It's to be a Star Trek show that just so surprisingly did it right that you at least have to bring it up as existing. Because I grew up and people wouldn't admit that TAS was even a thing, the animated series.
True.
And I'd be like,
true.
yes, it
really
was.
snotty.
Yes, it was.
It sure was.
I just didn't want to be like a thing that people were like, no. That's like, you know, that's an extra thing you should check out if you're into cartoons. I was like, no, I want this to feel like it lives in this world. And it's like, and so the fact that like, you would even say Deep Space Nine and Lower Decks in the same sentence is like, be careful what you wish for. Like, I'm like, anytime people are like, Lower Decks is one of my favorite Star Treks, when my goal was like, I just want people to say we exist, is like really special to me. So
you
I'm
far
sorry.
exceeded it.
You far exceeded it. Before we even go on, I just want to say one quick thing. When COVID happened, I think we spoke about this before. Your show saved a lot of us. I mean, we would have lost our goddamn minds if we didn't have Star Trek. And I mean new Star Trek, because we always had Star Trek, but new Star Trek. And I was the first one to say, I don't know about
Well, of course, that's every new Star Trek. I don't know about
then
that.
when it came on, I was like, yo, this is it.
Well, once you heard Tawny Newsome, I hope you were all like, wait.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's what I felt like.
I just didn't know. I just didn't know what to expect. And then when it came on, I was like, well, this is Star Trek.
Trek's always been like that. Like, I remember my dad passed away when I was in college, actually 20 years ago today. And then I moved back to Chicago after I graduated, and just to get my mom set up for a year, and she's still with us, and I'm really proud of her, you know, and that was right when TNG had all come out on DVD. Like, they had just all come out. And I blew a bunch of fucking money and I bought that set because I was like, you know what? I've never seen TNG in order. Like, I've always grabbed episodes, you know? And like, you know, they had just invented the idea of you can get a season of TV. You know what I mean? And I remember, like, I was like losing my dad. I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. But then I watched all of TNG in a row and I was like, oh, Star Trek is good when you're down too. Like, it's not just like geeking, like it's that thing that's like, yeah, this is gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, and there's also so much of it that like provides this little like, it's almost like a lighthouse where you're like, everything could be going wrong, but at least I know Geordi and Data are going to solve something tonight. You know what I mean?
Like, that is key.
I feel you that like I provided at least 10 weeks of a surprise during the pandemic. And on my side of it, we were making season 2 during the pandemic. In fact, we were finishing season 1 during the pandemic and like hunting down microphones because we were like, we need to record Jack and Tawny at home and like, you know, like all this crazy stuff. So like Lower Decks, I was able to keep the entire production crew working through the pandemic. Like it saved us too.
It did. I mean, it's so true, you know, what Yvette is saying. And yes, when I heard Tawny like the first time, I was like, yes. I mean, like she had me hooked. But you know, the thing particular to Lower Decks as opposed to all the other new Trek, and thank God for all of it. But the thing that is so powerful with you is that laughter, you know, that is the true healing that we need, like constantly, you know, and not mean-spirited laughter, just joyful. And you know,
but I
just
love it
joy
too.
in the
I
thing
love
that
it,
we
and
love.
I'm not like, well, hold on. I wanted to go back to you saying you liked the first season, though. Yeah, give me a little bit more of that.
Okay, so here I go, because because this is the shit, though, because when we talk about our favorite first seasons, hands down, it's always been Deep Space Nine was our favorite first season of all the Treks for us, like as a group, as the SyFy Sistas. And then you guys came along and we said, what? You know, I mean, it's literally every episode was a home run. You know, every single episode, like that, we had nothing to complain about. We had you brought us nothing but joy. I'm serious, like, you know, like, I mean, that's hard to do with a group of Trekkies. Like, we had zero to complain about.
Well, you know why I think though? I mean, here's my guess as to why. Is I came in like pretty clearly knowing what I wanted to do. And then episodically, my only goal first season was, I was like, look, once the execs see this show, who knows if they're going to really let us have a season 2. So we better get all the good stuff in first. I was like, let's just do the greatest hits right off the bat.
Off the bat.
Like, we're gonna have a Klingon pal for Mariner. We're gonna have, you know, we're gonna like after the pilot was wild because it was like I had to prove that it was a TNG era show and all this stuff, and I had to introduce every character, like the bridge crew and the Lower Decks, and get banana jokes in, like all this stuff, you know. But then it's like we did a trial episode, we did a holodeck movie episode. That movie episode was so good. We did that first season, and then that like meaningful finale with like that really sad moment where the other ship gets blown up at the beginning and it creates those real stakes, like. So like I was just trying to write the hits, and then second season the show became Lower Decks. Like I didn't have to do, I could just do episodes that felt Star Trek-y but weren't directly like this is you know what I mean? But people talk trash about first season, and I always want to be like guys, first seasons are really, really hard. And our first season's really good. And if you don't like it, you can go get fucked. You know what I mean? Right? Like it's like really fucking good. Only smart people like the SyFy Sisters know it. And
thank you.
On top of that, like there's something else about I saw somebody online. I probably shouldn't even say this, but like people saw the crossover episode, right? Right. And suddenly they're like, oh shit, we better go watch Lower Decks. Because maybe it's
I saw a lot of that.
Right. And then some folks who had seen the first couple episodes and they went in with hate in their hearts. They went in being like, not for me. I'm not going to like this. If they talk fast, if this half-hour show doesn't last 45 minutes, I'm not going to like it. You know what I mean? Like,
just a whole bunch of we know them.
All sorts of that. And I'm like, I've seen some people literally say, I went back after the crossover and rewatched the first season of Lower Decks, and I think they went back and changed it because it's not bad anymore.
I saw that too.
I'm like, wow, that is some. I want to live in a magical world,
right? To go back and change stuff that's
but done. I guess like first season's great. It's a great introduction. The characters are all great. All the actors do an amazing job. The art's beautiful. I'm really glad, even to be brought up on the top 10 list. Like I'm really proud of first season. I'm proud of everyone, but like. First season rules. Let's go.
It does. And every season since then has ruled, you know. I mean, you guys just continue to be amazing. And I know we're being told that this is it, baby. We got to get on out of here, you know.
No. Let's keep going. Hey, Mackenzie, let's keep going. Let's keep going for a little bit. Is that okay? These are the SyFy Sisters, Mackenzie. Come on.
Mackenzie said, yay. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Okay. Hey, old buddy, old pal, it's Fran from Comic-Con. How you doing, darling?
I remember you, Fran.
That's right. That's right.
That was the best table at Comic-Con. We had a good time. I got to say fuck
thought so.
Tuvix. Everybody laughed. Like that
I
was
thought
great.
you said, Tuba, get the fuck out of here. I said, okay,
Nobody
Mike
wants you on
got
this.
away with words here. Okay, I actually have a question to ask. Okay, was there a Star Trek showrunner meeting where the idea of throwing starships and shit came up? You know, like, you know, they did it in Picard and y'all did it. And Stewie,
Let me tell you something.
is there, like, in Discovery, is there a
me tell you
ship
something.
that's going to be thrown at some shit?
First off, we can only hope because that sounds fucking awesome.
I really want
Second
to
off-
see that now.
It would be so good. We have a trifecta.
You know what happens is Fran is making an astute point, but she's being funny while she's doing it. I can appreciate that. I speak to that. And I think the question behind the question is, why the fuck are you guys doing the same shit, right? If you're
No.
no,
Yes.
No.
One
it
says
really
no,
is.
one says yes.
Yes.
No,
Here's
I
my
say
friend.
no.
Typical day with the sisters.
I
Okay,
just
okay,
like,
Fran-
you know, throwing, you know, taking a, you know, just throwing a damn
Throwing a starship?
Yeah.
I mean, they slammed the Enterprise. It's a very movie thing to do. You slam the Enterprise D on the, you know, you got the dirt and the trees flying up. Like, just
Yeah.
love to slam it. But here's what I'll say is, the real answer to it is, first off, slamming a Star Trek ship against something, beautiful thing. Looks beautiful to do.
It
You just want to
does.
see it. The other answer is like, we're so careful about all this stuff. And then production times take different lengths and you have to fix stuff in post. And sometimes it's like, oh, whoa, that thing that got rewritten in post, turns out that's a little similar to a thing they rewrote in post because we're all making Star Trek. So
Right.
sorry, everybody, when we're slamming ships into stuff, except for Fran, who likes it. And that's why it makes me happy that we did
I
it.
love
That was a
it.
big ship.
We
We had
like
a big
it.
ship against that Trinar shield.
That was
Sure
a
did.
huge shit.
Damn. Got to see
was a
Captain
huge-
Freeman flying through the fireball and the
Oh,
castle.
she was
Yes.
awesome. Yes. I was like,
Yes.
would you go? Would you
Fucking-
look at this girl?
Love
Yeah,
that.
we're going
Always
Benny
Music
Hill,
is good there,
ramming
too.
speed, ramming
I
speed.
love
Chris
Ramming
Westlake.
speed. Yes.
That's it. Chris
Chris
Westlake.
Westlake,
was
let me
doing
tell
it.
you,
Like,
Chris Westlake is the man.
I love
He
that
is.
guy. He
How
does.
about that music he did for Tendi at the end of the season?
Yes.
Oh my
right?
God. Okay. I was like,
Right?
oh, Tendi.
I know.
No,
Ed
but then-
Rutherford,
But then
yeah.
the music comes in and I
Yeah.
heard that and I was like, uh-oh, that's powerful. That
Yeah,
might
because
be-
when she did that little look, she got her Orion look
look?
together.
Mhm, She said,
Yeah,
okay.
And she was
That's
like,
the
all right,
mistress
let's
of
go.
the winter
That's the wish.
constellations
That's,
look.
that's
right.
what it is.
right?
I
And
wanna
I was
see that.
like, I called Chris and I'm like, you fucked up now. And he's like, what? I'm like, I like that music so much. I want you to extend it for the whole credits. Let's go. I want that to be
Oh.
Tendi's credits. Let's go.
Oh.
And it just makes you like, it's just like a fist pump moment. Like it sounds so
Mhm.
good. I love that. moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
And then also makes you excited. I mean, like it was really perfect because it really makes you excited for the next season. I mean,
Mhm.
what a
Yeah.
way to
I
end
hope
it,
so.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
want
was
That's
so
some good
pissed
Tendi
that-
Orion stuff next season.
Oh,
It's
I
really
can't
good.
wait.
Yeah.
I can't
I
wait
love
because I was so
Orions.
pissed that, you know, oh no, don't end now. You know,
I
like
know. You want
it's
more.
just getting good, right?
We need 2 more. We need a 12 episode.
Mm,
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
Season.
man, there's some seasons we definitely like. I wish I look back on hindsight. I'm like, man, if I had had another episode in there, this Jennifer stuff would have made a lot more sense to people.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it's like, fuck. But every episode, I'm like, you know, you've got a C runner, you've got an A story, you've got a B story, you got a season long arc, you got to be funny, you have 4 leads, and then you have 5 bridge crew, and it's like, I get so greedy. I want everybody to have something, you
Mhm.
know.
How about
Right,
when
right.
Talin ignored her commander? I'm like, that's
Right.
big.
That was
That's big.
huge.
That wasn't
Big.
that huge? A Vulcan
Yeah.
doing something like, come on now.
I love that because then you're like, Lynn
Vulcans.
is Cerrito strong. You know what I mean?
Sabrina
She's like
the
the mariner
Vulcans.
of Vulcans.
She really
Right.
is.
She really,
really is.
yep. Mm-hmm.
I love when she goes, I'm not here for that.
I also love that
Yeah, no.
she thinks up the stupidest thing of the season and knows it's going to be helpful. Like that, like when she's like, the twaining is going to work. It's
Yes.
hilarious to me that comes from Talent. It makes me really happy.
The
I
twain.
mean, I love the regular
Twains.
Vulcan person. You know,
Yeah.
she's not.
Wait, say that
Spock.
again.
I love the regular Vulcan person. She's a regular Vulcan.
Yes.
If there
Mhm.
is such a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones are so extraordinary.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tuvok
Yeah.
and Spock. Come on now.
But she's also so funny.
She's
like
She
so
hilarious.
is funny.
deadpan.
Yeah.
She is so
she's just
funny.
like T'Pol. She reminds me of
Yes,
T'Pol
she
so
is
much.
like T'Pol. I mean, I based her partially on T'Pol. I love
Oh,
Me
T'Pol.
okay.
too.
I love
I
T'Pol.
love DePaul.
I wasn't
Yeah.
crazy about T'Pol.
I like
No,
T'Pol.
it's
Like, listen,
not.
T'Pol was
When
thrown
did
into
we
a
all
weird
agree?
situation,
She
but like,
was. So
I love Carbon Creek. Like, there's something about
Mhm.
like when
Yeah, kinda like-
T'Pol snaps, like when T'Pol claps back, fucking
Mhm.
awesome.
right.
Oh, yeah.
It just
right.
works
You
for
watch
me.
out.
The sarcasm is crazy.
Mhm.
She,
Yeah,
the
her and
shade.
And
Archer
I don't
are
think
Her
amazing.
shade.
but she see that to me, she don't know she doing sarcasm. She just being T'Pol.
Oh,
That's
I-
why.
That's
That's
what
when you
makes
know
it
the
so good.
sarcasm's not
That
coming
makes it
from
so
in
good.
here.
It's
Mhm.
not.
It's coming from
Don't
here.
Exactly.
Okay, Yvette, what you got? If we got Mike, if we got you for one more second, Yvette
I
has.
think you got me for 5 more minutes, and then we'll let Mackenzie go, and
Okay.
I'm sure she has parties to go to. It's November 1st,
Uh-oh.
Hey, it's Scorpio
November.
season. Hey. Okay.
holiday season.
Okay, so Mike,
Yes.
we've had 4 incredible seasons of Lower Decks.
Mhm.
But am I correct in thinking that we are still in 2381?
We are.
So that's only 2 years, 4 seasons. We got 2 years. Are you saving 2382 for something? Because
I mean, listen, I'll tell you
Prodigy
guys just want to
started
know the
in-
real reason? You want to know
yes,
the real
please,
reason?
please.
I don't know how to do Lower Decks when the Romulan supernova stuff happens.
Ah,
So
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to step on that. I don't want to
Yeah.
mess
Mhm.
with that. I
Mhm.
want that to be a special thing.
Mhm.
So I want to keep making this era. We're in the era before that. We're post Dominion War. Like
Mhm.
okay.
we're in the pre Romulan supernova stuff, and
Yeah.
and everything else that goes along with that, right?
Mhm.
So
Uh-huh.
like when you're thinking of what the Federation is, you guys know what it is. Like there's
Yeah.
Mhm.
a couple
Mhm.
bad admirals. We're still exploring. The lay of
Mhm.
the land. There's no current war going on. Like
Right.
it's a moment of peace, exploration, and like it lets me fit this show in without having to touch on that stuff that I don't want to put a comedy angle on. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I
Right,
like how
right.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So,
was
like-
wondering because you mentioned the
know.
refugees just in the new
Yeah.
at the end. So I was like, oh, are we gonna touch that? So that's why I wanted to ask.
Well,
that
that's
question.
like I just wanted that Locarno planet to be used for something. Like I thought that was cool.
It was
I love that
for real.
answer.
I love
Perfect
it.
That
answer.
felt nice. But I was like, yeah, like that's, and I talked to Brad about this a lot. It's like, yeah, and we make fun of ourselves for it, where it's like, yeah, a lot of shit happens to this crew. You know what I mean? And at first I was like, damn, a lot happens in a year. But now after the pandemic and a strike and fucking every other day, I'm like, you know what? A lot of shit does happen
A
in
lot
a
of
year.
shit
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
whatever.
Most definitely. Most
But yeah, for
definitely.
people paying attention to that stuff, like the reason it feels like we're kind of like running in place a little bit is I want to live in this era a little bit more.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I
Got
totally
it.
appreciate that.
And-
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like
Mhm.
real quick before we go, I just want to say thank you for the character arcs for Boimler and for Mariner this season. It was
Oh,
just so
thank you.
fun. It was so
Mhm.
fun watching them mature, right? Not being
Yeah.
stuck, but still being quintessentially themselves.
Mhm.
But
Boimler
not
as
being
captain.
stuck.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
he
isn't that fun?
he
Although I'll tell
shot
you
that out
guys,
the park.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys though, many times I've been like, man, if I could just get this thing, I'd be set. And then I do it and it's good. And then I get in my own head about it a little bit. Next season's a really interesting Boimler season. I don't take him back.
Mm.
I don't
Okay.
take him back. I don't undo
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
But I think like next season's a really funny, good Boimler season
Oh,
across the board.
wow.
We came up with a mechanism in the first episode where I was like, I want to keep examining that. And we do it all season and it's like really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
we haven't seen his doppelganger in a while.
We haven't seen
either.
William Boimler in a while.
No, we haven't.
We know he's alive. And Brad Boimler doesn't. Nobody else knows, right?
Right.
Right.
And there's some other threads lying out there in the world, but the thing to be excited about, I think, for season 5, because I wrote the finale of season 5 last week.
Oh,
so-
wow.
And it's pretty big. I think we can
Okay.
produce it. And the which is what I'd say every finale. And then Mariner goes into this next season being armored by this thing Mock told her, right? That I love in this season where she's like, she gets promoted, she tries to get demoted like always.
Right.
Ransom is like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know how to process that.
Right.
And then all season you see that kind of like that conflict. And then when she is fighting to the death with a Klingon and ends up in a rain delay, and it's the first time where she's like, somebody's dying after this anyway, so I can say something I've never been comfortable saying to anybody before. And just communicating, which Star Trek's all about communication, right? Just communicating to that Klingon her fears and her feelings, and that he gives her a Klingon's point of view. It lets Mariner move forward, not changed. She's still Mariner, right? And she still makes you laugh, and she still causes people trouble, but you can feel a weight has been lifted off of her. And you really feel that in season 5 in a way where I'm like, we set this character free a little bit. And like, you're still gonna laugh, she's still gonna drive people crazy, but like in a slightly different way that feels really good. So like really good stuff coming. And then Tendi on Orion, Mistress of the Winter Constellationing, like just good, really good stuff coming on Lower
I
Decks.
love it.
Oh yeah.
You haven't let us down yet.
You
haven't
have.
let
I'm
us
gonna try
down
not
yet.
to. I'm gonna try not to.
No, you guys are the best, and you're the best, and we're really, really, really grateful for the opportunity to just spend a few minutes with you and love
as
on
well.
you a little bit.
I yelled to my wife. I was like, "The SyFy Sisters!" Like,
Hi, wifey. Hi.
Tell her we said
I know,
hello.
She was tempted.
Yeah.
She was tempted to come running in, and then.
Oh my God!
But thank
Tell her
you
we
for
say
being such
hi.
amazing fans, and I always love talking to you guys. And if you ever want to talk again, just give me a heads up,
I
okay?
definitely will.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
love
Mike.
you. Thanks,
All right.
everybody. Thanks.
Wait, how
Mackenzie.
great was
Thanks,
Cito
Mackenzie.
being back? Never mind.
Oh,
You gotta go. You
yes,
gotta go.
Oh
You know
my
it
God!
was. I'm telling you,
wow.
I
Yeah,
almost
Wesley
peed a
was.
little bit. I
Oh,
did.
she
I
was.
looked.
I almost
Okay, wait a
peed
minute.
just
I
little bit.
looked her up, and I'm like, how in the hell did he get
Dude,
her?
Brad
She has.
tracked her down.
Wow.
She's
It
doing
was
like
so good.
social work and like therapy and stuff,
Yeah.
like up
Yeah.
in California. And we brought her in, and she brought her daughter down, and
Oh, cool.
to watch her record, it was the first time she acted in 35 years. And we
Yeah, I
even
saw
like,
that.
we paid her SAG fee to be like, we don't want this to hit you at all. You know, we just want you to
Right.
come and be a part of this.
Oh,
And she was so awesome. Brad still texts with her, like they're
Oh,
pals.
that's
now.
so cool.
I
We're
love
like,
that.
you gotta come to a convention. You don't get
Yeah.
it. We love
Yeah.
I
you.
know.
Gotta
we
come.
Yes.
She's gotta come to a
Yes.
Gotta
convention.
come. We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it.
Oh, that would
Yeah,
be
she's
so
gotta
Thank
come.
you.
People would.
Thank
People would
you.
love that. She's
We're
a
telling her,
hero.
we're like, we love
Yeah.
you. The fans
Yeah.
love you. She's like, really? We're like, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Crazy.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was just so
Yeah.
much in that. I couldn't even
Yeah.
like. I really had a hard time controlling myself. You know, because
With her,
it-
with
It's a
her-
beautiful
her-
little. I just
Yeah.
wanted that little start. That little
And I kept
start.
saying, "Is that Will we?
Oh, it's
Right.
Willie.
Is that Will?"
yeah.
I was like, Will, I'm so sorry. It's not a lot of lines, but it's important. And he totally
wait.
got it.
I
totally
know he
got it.
got that.
And the two guys on the bridge, they looking like
Oh, yeah.
he has his exact same face.
Oh, that was my
I don't see
favorite
it.
parts
Wasn't
of the
that
whole
the best?
I don't
episode.
see it.
And
Don't
then
see it at
actually,
all.
if you see them walking, the other member of Nova Squad is like running away from them at the beginning, kind of like off in the, you know what I mean? So like
Oh,
everybody's in
okay.
there.
Oh, even
Everybody's in there.
Jean Haja, is that what her name?
I didn't say it. I didn't
Oh,
say it
okay.
because I don't know if
Okay.
you can see her face. I don't know if
No, I
but
didn't. I
yeah.
thought I didn't know she was there. Okay, I gotta watch it
Okay.
again. Gotta watch it again.
Thank you.
Gotta
thank
watch
you,
it. Gotta
thank
watch it
you.
over
Yeah.
and over again.
Oh my God! It's,
Of
Okay.
course.
I got
gonna
the
turn it on.
screener.
Give me
I'm
another
watching it
reason.
again and again and again.
I know.
Like, how many times do I have to watch this now?
It's a minimum
We-
3-watch show. you know?
We are Trekkies. There is no limit to how many times we are watching episodes.
That's
There's
right.
no limit.
too.
No limit.
Me too.
Even if you don't want to.
You
Right?
still,
You're like, well, I gotta
oh,
watch this one now.
you know,
Even the
Jellicoe,
crappy ones.
on the other day, he told Troy to go put some clothes on. I'm like, oh, I had
Oh,
to
that's
look
one
at
of my
it. I had to
favorite
sit there and look
lines.
at it.
So.
I had to go look at it.
Thanks,
knows?
Mike.
Thank you so
We're
much.
gonna, we're
Mike.
gonna let you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta let you go.
Thanks,
I love
Mackenzie.
you. Do the sarcastic. The sarcastic. Yeah.
There you
What's up, ladies?
We're just going to leave you and let you guys holler by yourselves into an awkward silence.
We can fill that silence. We'll be like, blah, 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 blah. Hi.
Hey, guys. Hi. Welcome. Surprise, y'all. Look who came and stopped by. I mean, none other than Mike McMahan and Chris Westlake. Hi, Chris. We haven't seen you since Chicago. What's up, buddy?
Hello. I had to come in and say hello. How are you?
He talks about it daily.
I do. That's true.
Oh, we are so excited to have both of you join us in the chat. Say hey, folks.
Hi. Everybody in the chat, we've been watching all the love. We love everything you're saying. DJ Kitty Cat, we're not
DJ
answering
Kitty Cat.
that. Don't try to trap us in that. DJ Kitty Cat, get out of here. Oh, and then you made it big on the screen. Why does Mariner have a different last name from her parents? I'll tell you, in life, sometimes you try to distance yourself from your incredibly accomplished parents. I personally haven't experienced that. No, my parents are great. But you want to know the real truth of that? The real deal is originally, Mariner and the captain weren't related. Like way back, pilot, way early. And then I was writing the pilot, and I'm like, something's missing. I'm missing some Cisco. I'm missing some Beverly Crusher. I need some of Gene Roddenberry's interpersonal conflict on this ship, you know? And in writing the pilot, I was like, hey, JP, the dude, I was like, what kind of stories can I tell with Tawny and Dawn if they were related? And it really made the pilot come together. It made you understand. It made the first season feel right. So like way early, before we even got the show picked up, that was all changing. And originally, I had named Mariner after my little sister, whose name is Beckett Mariner McMahan.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, should I change it to yeah, Benjamin, I know. And I was like, should I change it? And then I was like, well, if I had been in that situation, I wouldn't want people to know that I was the daughter of the captain and this was my last ship. You know what I mean? Like, this was my last chance. So I decided to keep it and made my mom super happy that her daughter, who she loves, was in the show as well. And there was also like, when I was on Rick and Morty, there were a couple Dans, there were a couple Mikes, and we all called each other by our last names. And I liked that feeling of like a little bit of military broiness of like, I'd be in a writer's room pitching a joke and Harmon would be like, McMahon's got it, you know, and I'd be like, oh, Mariner, that's cool. So it was kind of a combination of things, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it felt right for the character, and then you get called by that for so long that just becomes your name, you know? Yeah. Like, we don't call Tendi Devana, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like military pals, like Navy pals calling each other by their last name. Right. You know? There's not like a ton of Devanas on the ship. Plus, Mariner's just a badass name. And then when her mom, Captain Freeman, is like, Beckett! Like, you like feel it. Right?
Just in the room, Michael.
Yeah, my mom doesn't call me Michael. She calls me Michael. So.
Yeah, we know that tone.
Yeah.
If your mom
I use that tone constantly. I'm always using that tone.
I just think, I mean, everybody who's talking about what a cool name your sister has is absolutely right. It is the coolest name. Like,
tell me, growing up being Mike and Beckett, like, and then my kids are named Sagan and Harry. So I kept the tradition going. Cool sci-fi name, and then just normal nice guy name.
That's really cruel of you, but you know,
right
now we see your true colors.
Harrison, little sci-fi in that, a little bit.
Okay, all right, Harrison. Yeah, there you go. We like that.
That works.
Like that.
That works.
Hey, Chris, did you get to hear us like totally talking about all your fantastic music?
No, but thank you. That's amazing. I have to go back and listen, or like
Please, yeah.
End of it, but that's amazing. I mean, that episode is such an incredible. I mean, what a way to go out for the season. I mean, so amazing. I love the moment with Tendi at the end. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this is such a like. It's almost like a promise for next season, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the heart of that. Of like, it's going to be different, but the same kind of like, you know. So yeah. It's still Tendi.
I was actually getting texts from Noelle Wells, who plays Tendi.
Yeah.
And it was a screen grab of that look Tendi gives.
Oh.
And she was like, let's go. You know,
right. Right.
So proud. She was like, when did Tendi get so hot? And I was like, from the get-go.
Right.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Out of
Right.
here. She loves the Warp Core.
Tendi has always been one of my favorite characters. Everybody always assumes that, you know, because I'm a Black girl, it's going to be Beckett. And, you know, Beckett is right up there, you know, but Tendi is my girl and always has been because, you know, all of I use the word in the interview, the joy that she brings and her enthusiasm for everything. But I love that what we got to see this year is like, just because people are joyful and just because they are happy does not mean they are suckers and pushovers, you know, and they're still underneath that. And a lot of that joy and happiness comes from a place of knowing your own power.
Yeah.
You know, that gives you some freedom to be like that.
Tendi puts up with weird Star Trek prejudice too that Mariner doesn't have to put up with. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh, Orion pirates. There's like Chief Lundy, who's kind of a heel, like, you know. And then she runs into that Orion on Deep Space Nine, Mesk, who's like,
oh yeah,
that guy like, was like, oh, we're the same, and she's like, no,
we're not.
Fuck off.
No, and they wouldn't let her talk about the turbo lift.
Oh, Caves, that was so good.
That was so funny.
Tendi wasn't originally in the pilot, and it was actually a producer note from Heather Caden being like, can we have a character in here who's kind of the audience surrogate, like their first day. That's why on the pilot it's Tendi's first day. And then like by the second episode, she's just one of the gang. You know what I mean? Like she's just like one of the Warp Core 4. Like I was like, yeah, the audience.
I love that. Okay, and I just want to say, Chris, that like not only is your music for this episode amazing, it's amazing every season all the way through. You know, we gushed all over your music when we first met you in Chicago, and it's still like one of my favorite characters of the show. You know, that's
like the best compliment I could ever get, honestly, because it's like there's so much I think that I love about the characters on the show, and love getting to be able to be a part of that and a part of their chemistry and have the music be like sort of integral for the way that they all kind of come together in the episode and become sort of like stronger than their individual selves by working together. So like, oh, that's the best. Thank you.
Yeah, don't tell them that. What are we doing?
You brought them.
You brought him, but no, we love Chris.
We're so glad.
And you made him sit all the way back there. Did you guys notice that? You made him
all the way back there.
All the way back. Like, why is he all the way up
we're not exactly in the biggest room. Like he's pretty close. So unless you need him sitting in my lap,
that's a different show.
That would be better.
But yeah, with the time change, I got all my work done early, and I was like, my kids call him Uncle Chris. I was like, Uncle Chris, should we go grab happy hour? And then we're at happy hour, and I was like, do you want to meet the SyFy Sistas? And he was like, let's go.
I love that. That's a barroom conversation.
Right? Like, okay, I'm good now. I'm good. Like I can die happily now. Mike McMahan said, "Do you want to meet the SyFy Sistas?" And Chris Westlake was like, "Yeah, dude."
He's like, "You mean from Chicago? I've met him, but let's go. Let's go."
Been there, done that, but let's do it again,
right?
Guys, I love your questions. We're so like true fan, like not only of Star Trek but just of Lower Decks. Like I love talking to you guys, and I hope for everybody in the chat that like I didn't go on too much. I tend to like overthink and get into the weeds like with everything, but you know, Chris can tell you, like, we feel so lucky to make Lower Decks, and we love making it. We love talking about it. Like, we love seeing all the fan response, and the SAG strike just got resolved.
Yes.
Like, we finally,
Yes.
like, bravo to our actors and all of our friends who, you know, as a writer, I just went through that, and I know what a relief it is to get to not only get back to work, but also like to be able to talk about the stuff you're proud of, and you know, we are so proud of this show. And well, listen, you guys have us now. Was there anything you wished you had asked while we were in that, or what do you want to talk about?
Oh my God.
I actually wanted to bring up something about Captain Freeman, Dawn Lewis. So me and Sabrina were just talking about the Ready Room that they just had, and I think it was a year ago we did the top 10 the women of Star Trek, and I fought tooth and nail, and not really, but you know, I think people didn't realize we were going to put Captain Freeman was on that list of all time, you know, women of Star Trek top 10. And I wanted to bring that up because I think she's just left out of so much of this. People talk about this show, and she is this show.
Yes.
You know, it's her ship.
Yes.
You know? And I never want her to get left out of the conversation because she is, I just love the fact that we always talk about black female captains. They're usually dead when we meet them.
Right, we never see them.
Or we never
hear
see
the name
them, you know?
of
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And they're always dead.
Yeah. So, but and to have her be this badass captain with all her foibles, and you know, and her greatness, and I just want her to be mentioned with Tendi, with all of them, you know.
She's notably alive.
Yes.
Huge move. You know, Captain Freeman, man, what I didn't know going into the show is I was like, oh, the bridge crew have to make sense, and I'm always going to write up to them, right? They can't just be schmoes, you know. But I didn't know how much I was going to fall in love with the bridge crew, even though the show was called Lower Decks, you know. And the Dawn Lewis is so good. Like, everybody on the show who's supposed to be a supporting character takes over. Like, there's no character that couldn't be the main character of a Starfleet show. Like, I would watch an entire show about Shax or Dr. Tana or both of them.
Right.
Or even Billups. Like, I just think, like, the sneaky smart thing we did was accidentally fall in love with every character, even if they were supposed to be the boss or flawed, you know? And because everybody on Lower Decks grows, you've gotten to see, I've actually been watching season 1 with my 9-year-old for the first time ever.
Ooh.
And he literally plays a character on Solar Opposites. He plays this little guy on Solar Opposites.
Oh, cool.
No way. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And you can see him in the poster back there. He's like,
oh yeah.
Like, I made that character based on him because I was coming up with Solar Opposites when he was born, and then I cast him as this little creature, and getting to watch Lower Decks with him. First off, I'm like, man, I wish I could go back to season 1 and slow it down just like 10%. 10%. I like hacked so much into every episode, and now I let ships appear and I let voiceovers land a little bit more. Like, I was younger and I was full of energy, and COVID hadn't happened back then. But like, watching through his eyes and seeing it be his first Star Trek, and how the Cerritos is a real ship to him, and he loves the bridge crew, and he loves the lower deckers, and getting to watch it through his eyes is kind of like getting to experience it like you guys do. And I'm just like, and seeing him be like, wait, you made this, you know, like, now I'm just rambling. It's just awesome.
No, that's what Star Trek is all about. I mean, there's nothing like being there for someone when they first get to watch they experienced Star Trek.
Yeah.
There is nothing like that. When you've brought somebody in to this world and they're like, just watching it, like, are we gonna watch more?
Oh, well,
You
they
know?
want to watch more. DJ Kitty Cat knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah,
Sure does.
definitely. Yep, she sure
And-
does, because
and then
her
it
daughter
competes-
loves Moopsy.
That it competes with like Mario and YouTube and all the stuff they have. Like growing up, I was like, when I found Star Trek, I was like, wait, TV can be cool. Like TV
Yeah.
can be fun, you know. And now it's like they've got a fire hose of stuff. So him, a 9-year-old loving Lower Decks and loving Star Trek, I'm like, we have a chance. We have a chance.
Oh my God, I can't wait till he reverse watches and goes back to the original shows and goes like, that's where that came from.
Yes.
TNG
Yep.
is next. I'm gonna select some TNG.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we sound like missionaries now. Converted.
We are.
We'll never sound as culty as the Star Wars folks, though.
No,
Like,
True.
like those guys.
for true.
Like, if you talk shit about Star Wars, it's like, huh! Like you just get. You have to support and love everything.
Glass grain in
Fans
the
are
neck.
like, all right. Let's see if I like this. Like, we're not going to church with Star Trek.
One of us.
Oh, here's a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan. Aha.
But guess what? I converted him.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I like Star Wars too. I'm not gonna like. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
we all
praise
do.
the altar.
We
and
all
do.
hope
We all
that,
do,
though.
sure.
Like, get out of town. Come on.
Yeah,
We
all do.
Yeah, we like them too. You know, we
Yeah,
do.
they're cool.
If it's got Star in the title, I'm there. But I'm not like. I'm not gonna fucking be mean about it. Like, come on.
Nah.
Right.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. What was your entry into Star Trek?
TNG.
TNG.
Okay.
I think Tasha Yar was the first character I had a crush on Tasha Yar, and then she was killed in the first season. I was crushed.
Spoiler!
I know this dude, man. Mike, you had to bring this guy with you, didn't you?
Ruin it.
God.
Those are table manners. This is what you get. But yeah, Tasha Yar was the first. It was the first time I was watching TV. It was the first time as a character that I admired and liked. And then she like dies unceremoniously, and I was like, oh, that can happen. That's like just the thing that can happen. Like, and
That was rough. That was rough.
For me, it was my first time experiencing, I think, the loss of the character,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sort of watching them pick up the pieces after that, and then move forward, like just watch the rest of the show. It was just, it was perfect. It was always the thing that my sister and I were 8 years apart, and it was the one thing that an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old could both, 18-year-old could both agree. Oh,
Sorry.
You have a Tasha Yar theme?
Never Tasha Yar theme. I mean, listen,
But it can't be about her death. She's like tough.
Yeah.
She's from something 4, which was a tough place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is she from?
That's a good one.
No, somebody.
Something 4.
It starts with a T. I can't remember. Something T4.
Totino's?
No, not Totino's. It's like Tarklana.
We all know
Tarkana 4.
one thing that place was known for, which we can't say out loud.
No,
'cause
no,
it's
no.
ridiculous.
No, don't
He
say
doesn't even know what we're talking about. He's not.
Yeah, we all
He's not
Don't-
clinically weird like us. But Tasha
Do
Yar.
not tell
I'm
anybody.
just gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him.
Okay, tell.
Tasha Yar is famously from a planet that's full of rape gangs, and she
Rape
brings up,
No.
which is like a very not Star Trek concept. And when you're 9 and in the 80s or whatever, you're like,
Ah!
And then they show her with a. She
Yeah.
has like a chain on
Chain
her
on her
neck,
neck,
and she's
yeah.
got a kitty, and I'm like,
Yeah, tough girl,
what?
Tasha Yar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. With it, like I was like, really now? Is this really where she's from?
You know who was running that show that year?
Yeah. Well,
See,
yeah. Well.
see.
Okay.
Is there a sweater around the shoulders? Perhaps. I'm
Perhaps.
just saying.
You'll notice Lower Decks has never gone back to the planet.
Go back there.
Don't, please don't.
Don't go back
Let's just keep going at warp. Let's just go
I
right.
just love, but speaking of Tasha Yar, I love how you guys how they prank called what's his name?
Armis.
Armis.
Sorry.
That was my favorite. That was my shit that had me dying. I was laughing so hard.
Every once in a while, I'm like, we could do something really funny here, but technically, it's incredibly stupid. And like, every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We're having fun. Like,
Right.
oh shit, I don't know if we're allowed to swear on your.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Especially that word, sure.
Yeah, like it's like every once in a while, it's like, you know what? How many times in life do you have a Star Trek show? Let's prank call this motherfucker that pissed me off when I was 13 or whatever. You
Right.
know?
And you spoke to our hearts. That everybody wanted.
Everybody wanted to do that.
That's what you get.
That guy.
Karma
Boo.
is a bitch.
Boo, Armis. Boo, skin of evil. You
Boo.
suck.
Right?
Boo.
Boo.
Get fucked, Armis.
Oh my.
And code of honor. You take
Yeah.
that too.
Oh.
Boo, code of honor.
Oh.
Boo.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, I know. I didn't mean to bring it up. I'm sorry. You
Chris is like, what's code of honor?
No.
Is a famously stupid racist early TNG. The second episode.
Second
Like
episode.
third?
Is it the second or the third?
No, I don't.
No, it's-
It was
it
a
might be
two-parter,
the, yeah.
right?
It's the third
Yeah,
because it
he's
comes
just
on after the
skip it.
poly water, the sexy one. What's the I can't remember the
You
name
know,
of
I'm
the
about
show.
to go to Memory Alpha and look it up now.
What was the one where they all drank the poly water?
Oh
or,
God, yeah.
and they
What's
all
Memory Alpha?
what?
Shut up. Stop fucking with us.
Make it time.
Shut up.
To make it time.
We
ripoff.
all went. What?
Imagine
Oh,
if
yeah, there
I'd
you
never
go.
heard
Make
it.
it now. That's
DJ
right.
DJ Kitty
You
Cat.
think I
got
can
it.
spell all that shit right without Memory Alpha? Get the fuck out of here.
I was going to say, I know you use memory alpha.
I
Oh
mean,
my
look,
God.
I'll
Doesn't
take it
bear
back.
looking up.
I love Captain Freeman too, and I love Don Lewis. And I'll tell you, because we've got true fans here, there's some good season 5.
I don't even know yet. I don't know.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen any of season 5.
He's working on Solar Opposites right now, and then he switches back to
Oh
Love Back.
wow.
Okay, cool.
Starting like well, whatever.
Yeah, but
Ooh, we have to rewind.
But,
this.
there's some good Captain Freeman stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Great.
Yay.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. She's the best.
She
I
is.
think
No Goodgie stuff. I'm like looking back on it, being like, what was I doing? I should have put some. But then I see people online complaining about Badgie and Goodgie, and I'm like, have a little fun in your hearts, everybody. Come on.
what are they complaining about?
Whoopsie.
Badgie and Jesus.
You'd
come
be
on.
amazed. People are.
I don't.
There's like 1 or 2 complainers online. You know,
About the 3 badgies.
about everything.
Oh, well, yeah.
I just remember like Badgie, the best thing about Badgie was just reminding me, it was the callback to the Microsoft
Yeah, the little
paperclip
the
thing.
paperclip.
Yeah, the paper
You know,
clip.
and I was just like, yes, that thing was evil.
Oh
How come
my
we're
God.
missing a couple of the sisters? Where are they?
We're missing one. We're missing
One, just
Fran.
one. Fran.
Mhm.
Just
We're
Fran.
missing Fran because due to work.
Yeah.
Well, I count Brad Winters as an honorary sister. So
Well, where is he? You should have dragged him along too.
he's probably going to find out about this and be upset.
Oh, he is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Gotta be there.
But I feel like don't let Brad's experience on the cruise
He loved the cruise.
sway you. Did he really though? Did he really
He's
though?
not resting notes face.
Did he though?
Like, he had fun. Hung out with. He was jealous that Tawny got to like pop in and out, and like I think Brad paid to be there. Like he was there to be there. You know.
Yeah.
He was telling me stories about the cruise. He loved the cruise.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
don't fall for that. Brad loves this. He loves, back when I was writing TNG season 8, like it was me and Brad. I'd go to Brad and be like, this makes sense, right? He was producing those tweets back in the day,
Oh, that's so cool.
So he gets
Hey,
it.
Mike. Tell people about TNG season 8 if they don't know.
So TNG season 8 was a Twitter I made back when Twitter wasn't fascist. And it was when I was an assistant at 20th Animation. So we were making Bob's Burgers and Simpsons and Futurama and for one brief second, King of the Hill and, American Dad and Family Guy and all that stuff. And I was writing fake I was writing fake episode descriptions of an 8th season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, where the A stories were all really sincere sounding and the B stories were all idiotic and funny, but still sort of sounded like TNG. And then one of the other assistants at the time, I went off to be a writer and he went off to be a producer, and he ended up working on Discovery and at Secret Hideout with Alex Kurtzman. And originally he called me and said, hey, we're starting up a new Star Trek show called Discovery. Do you want to come and work on it? And I was at Rick and Morty and nobody heard of it yet. And I said, why don't you call me in a couple of years when you guys have figured your shit out? And I think I said it nicer than that, but I was like, Star Trek's usually have a couple of years of figuring it out. Like, once you figure that out, bring me in, coach. Cause I'm like, I'll just be making jokes the whole time. And I remember he and my agents were like, are you out of your fucking mind? You're turning down Star Trek? And I was like, no, but I'm on this show, Rick and Morty, I really love it. And then Rick and Morty got really big, and he called me back and he was like, all right, I see why you wanted to stay there. Like, your voice really fits into that. Do you want to come in and talk to Alex Kurtzman about what you would love to make for an animated Star Trek? And I remember being like, you guys aren't going to like it because it's going to be funny. It's going to be about the lower decks. And he was like, just come in and have a conversation. This was Aaron Byers, who like really believed in me.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome dude, and who I should not have said no to in the beginning, because I love Discovery too. And like, I didn't get to write for Sonequa, which I'm like, what the hell? I would have loved that. But
we would have.
But I went in and I remember like just telling them exactly what I wanted to do with Lower Decks, and instantly, like, Aaron, Heather Caden, and Alex Kurtzman especially 100% got not only what I wanted to do, but they could hear how much I loved it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they just gave me a crack at it. And that's why I'm here talking to you guys.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank
so
goodness.
those the TNG season 8 things has become, you know, like a lot of people know about that now, that we're missing it at the time, and people are like going back and looking for them. Now, can you still find them out there on the interwebs?
They're still on there. I looked the other day because I was curious, because I know I saw some article that they're like taking old accounts down and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, I thought this was going to be a forever thing. And I went and looked, and I actually reposted one of my favorites from it, but it's still all up there. And it's funny when you go through it, I'm like, well, I'm using that from season 5. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, Benji. Yeah. Yes, Benji. I'm like, you know,
that's clearly a Gen Xer right there.
I like that Benjenium thinks it got cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
But it's weird. So cool. I think like, if you need to take it, if you're a creative person and you're making stuff, just make whatever is making you laugh in whatever format you're doing it. Like, you never know. Like, I made the tweets, and then I turned the tweets into a book. I'm not good at writing books, but I had fun writing that book. And then, you know, when I got that call, they knew that there is a book, I think, DJ Kitty Cat. And like, you know, the reason they were able to even put me in the room to talk about making a show is because even without them paying me, I was doing this stuff. Like, I just love this. I saw that. You know?
I remember when we were in Chicago, and I think we decided to do it for a jog, which was a bad idea, but
it was fine for you.
Yeah. No, I was struggling. But but I remember you showed me, you're like, yeah, I got this account, I just set it up, I'm just like writing Star Trek, and I got like 200 followers yesterday, and like he was at like, it was like less than 500 total. It was just totally like just because he was, you know, couldn't stop himself from coming up with B plots, you know, like
yeah,
I was amazed. I was like 500.
Yeah, my wife and I were like, I just lost all of TNG, and then I started tweeting Star Trek jokes, and I was like, whoa, 500 followers, and then we were in the airport, and I was like, I just got 2,000 followers.
Oh my God.
That Monday, I was taking notes in a meeting, and I glanced at my phone, and I went, "Oh shit!" Everybody in the meeting looked up, and I was like, with my boss, and I was like, "I just got 30,000 followers on Twitter." And I remember my boss being like, "All right, we're not having this meeting anymore. how the fuck did you do that? And I think like Will Wheaton had retweeted like one of my early tweets kind of thing. And it's funny to like then all these years later, like get to direct him and record him for the finale, you know?
Yeah.
I thanked him. I was like, this is a lot, you know, that definitely moved the needle, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite cameos, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Was Will, hearing Will's like actual Will's voice in that and hearing him do young Will.
Young
Will
was
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give him like the eyeliner. I like was really looking at how they used to like do him up, and I was like, let's put a little sweet eyeliner on this guy, you know?
Oh my God. One more reason to watch it again.
And again and again
And again.
and again.
Oh
I can't even imagine what you guys have up your sleeves for season 5 and beyond. I mean, like, we can commiserate, Chris.
I think I told you guys, or I said this something like, we've got some amazing Orion stuff with Tendi. We've got some great Talin stuff. We've got a lot of surprises. We love making this show, and you know, we're working away. I was working on it today. Like it takes a full year to get it from page to being fully done, and a little over.
Yeah,
so
you've been working on it for longer.
Yeah, it takes like almost a year and a half, but hopefully we get to keep making it. I texted out or I tweeted out. We Paramount Plus gave us a binge code. So if you have somebody who doesn't have Paramount Plus and needs to watch the show, if you put in STLD into Paramount Plus, you get a month free of Paramount Plus, and you can binge the entirety of Lower Decks. And the more people that do that, the more seasons I'll get, for sure.
Ooh,
that's great.
Wow, that is really cool. I know. So we'll make sure we all get that out on our socials and everything, and repost that and make sure people know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, if everybody who loves Lower Decks found one other person to sign up and watch it, we'd double our numbers, and they wouldn't be able to tell me anything. You know,
right.
Like that's the real power of fandom and social media and all that stuff. Like I would rather us come out and all watch it now, and the show's doing great, but like, you know, we're in crazy times, and it's you know, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Lower Decks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, but no, I'm always saying like I've got an army of amazing, talented artists of not only Chris but all of his musicians, and like, the more people that watch it, the more people that find it, the more people that share it, the easier it is for me to make a case to get to do more of it and give you guys more. You know?
Yeah. That's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we're hoping for, because I swear to God, I would die if anything happened to the show. I mean,
don't die. No,
I might die a little bit inside, is what I'm saying. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Inside is okay, but I want you to stay safe.
Tasha moment.
Like Tawny's working on Starfleet Academy. It sounds.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
and I've read the Section 31 movie, and it's awesome.
Ooh.
And like, there's good Trek coming, and there's Strange New Worlds. Like, those guys have our backs. So we're in this weird golden age in between time where, like, I wish we were getting more Discovery, but I'm glad they're going out with a bang. And you know, we're getting more Prodigy. Like, we're not in that post-Enterprise question mark. You know. That we all felt that was like really heavy, you know.
Right, it was, yeah.
And then that first.
What now?
You don't remember that?
Oh,
yeah. I remember the feeling of, are we ever going to get Star Trek again?
Again, right?
And then we had that teaser for the JJ movies, and I was like, let's fucking go! Like this, you know. They used like the iconic TOS like sound effects in it and stuff, and the music too, and it was that first building the Enterprise thing, and we were back for a bit. You know what I mean? But I think, like, I love Star Trek movies, but like Star Trek TV to me is like having water or power. Like, you gotta just have it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I need both. I need both and more, and I'm greedy. Give me more of it.
Well, you know, you're just a fan, dude. You know, I mean, like you're just like us. I mean, that's why I think that's another reason why like everybody in the fandom really loves you so much. I mean, half of us are already watching Rick and Morty anyway, and you know, and Solar Opposites, and it wasn't a big leap for us to get to Lower Decks. But for those that were not of that time, you know, not watching those shows, and you know, then oh look, she's back. Looking just as beautiful as ever.
Rap me.
Rap me.
All right. I'll wrap you up. But yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, I mean, it's what you are so endearing. Chris, you're endearing. Everybody that works on the show is such a fan, you know, that we love you guys. And, you know, so we love the show, but we also feel like you're one of us, like in a really significant way. And we would support like anything that you guys are doing, because we really feel like you know, fanboys make good.
Right.
Most of the time.
Here's what I'll say is Chris is the real deal. Like, I tell him, like, I don't want the music to be funny. I want it to be sincere. I want it to be amazing. Like, when people are hearing, like, I tell him a lot of the time, when you're feeling something in Lower Decks, it's actors and it's Chris. Not the art, you know, like the art takes a step back for a second. And a lot of the times, if you're cheering or if you're feeling something, oh, thank you, Dave Gregory. If you're feeling something, it's because of Chris, it's because of Tawny or Noel or Jack or Eugene. Like they're bringing the heart. They're bringing this thing I can't do with jokes or with art. You know what I mean? And then if you think something looks cool or hilarious, that's the artist. You know what I mean? They love this too. And then the whole thing coming together, like, that's on me. Like, if you don't like something, that's on me, you know? And if you love something, I had something to do with that. But if you didn't like it, like, address it to me. It's never somebody on my team. It's something that it's either a thing that worked for me and you know what I mean? So, like, I love the music. We have a 60-person orchestra?
16.
Wow.
Wow.
They're so amazing. They're some of the best musicians I've ever seen in my life. And they play, they're section leaders for John Williams. They are the most incredible people, and we're so lucky to have them because I feel like they put so much energy and they bring like as much as I can. I feel the same way. If there's something you don't like about the music, it's me. It's not because of the way the musicians play, because they play their hearts out every single time we record with them. And they just nail it. They get like
if you don't like the music, it's Chris's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I can't believe the performances are unbelievable. They sit down and they're reading it all for the first time. Even the main title that we've all heard like a million times. That was like take 2 or 3.
Take 2 on that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild to me that they just come in and just lay it down. You know, it's incredible. It's inspiring.
Wow.
And then we'll go to the Hollywood Bowl and he'll be like, "Oh, that's our cellist," or those 2 play violin for us. Like, and then when we have people come and join, we'll invite them to a record session for the orchestra. And like Lower Decks is on a big screen and there's a 60-person orchestra playing. There's a couple clips.
It's amazing. Like, what the most amazing thing for me is the last couple of seasons, I've been starting to see, maybe not this specific one, but I've been seeing shirts in the crowd, including I think the Mach t-shirt, which I think you had to get all 12.
Yeah. Yep.
Wanted to know that they're excited to be there.
Yeah, there's fans in there. Oh, let's go.
Yes.
That's my girl.
My wife carves these shirts up. She like cuts the whole.
Yep. Here. Yep. Here you go.
You gotta make girl shirts. They're like, nah,
you gotta make girl shirts. You got to.
We're Star Trek for girls. Let's make girl shirts. Come on.
Make them.
So, Chris, you know, one of my favorite.
True. I'm sorry. I was just reading Dave's.
I know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things at Vegas is when they have the Star Trek themes played by the orchestra. And the last time I went, you know, we listened to those themes and people were literally crying in the audience when we heard this theme. I cannot wait to hear it again. I can't wait to hear Lower Decks in that room again.
Emotion. That Tendy song you did?
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Or like not to toot his whatever his cello, but the music he does for the Lower Decks holodeck movie episodes are like,
oh my goodness,
it's as good as
like Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
It's films.
I was all inspired by it. It's they're some of my favorite composers and some of my, it's just like it's total a dream come true stuff to be able to write for especially like there's so many episodes, even the non-movie episodes, where it's like this is a film. This is like we've done everything.
I was wondering what I was hearing there in the background.
Papa, can I get the phaser from your office? Says my
Type 2 phaser. I love it.
He loves it. There's like there's a thing on it that makes it explode. It like builds up. It's his favorite thing in the world.
Oh, God. I'm a little jealous right now.
Really, I need.
Hey,
some
Mike,
armament.
are we going to see any more of this character?
Moopsie?
Moopsie's the best.
I don't know. Moopsies are so dangerous. They're so full of bones.
Do Moopsies procreate like tribbles? That would be dangerous.
Oh my God.
Ooh, oh God.
Oh my Moopsies are a solitary creature. Now, a Moopsie, I do believe, loves eating mugatos because of their exposed horn. So
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Makes sense.
Never want to.
I saw that episode.
Why do you think those mugatos got so frisky? They're so afraid. They gotta get gut. They don't have a lot of time. Why do you think they're so poisonous? Everybody got so mad at me. That Mugato episode made me cry laughing.
I love that damn episode.
They're in the log and the Mugatos are going at it. And I was like, this is going to get me in trouble online. But I don't care. It's so funny. We already got a regular Mugato episode. Leave me alone.
Woo, buddy. And also, then there was the Peanut Hamper episode.
Let me tell you about Peanut Hamper. Peanut Hamper is one of my all-time favorite Trek villains. Hamper. I got a triple. So you love Peanut Hamper. As soon as I got so Science Division, our friends Kalia and Jay Zawacki had a company called Science Division, which made these awesome tribbles, right? They're like the app-enabled tribbles. So I got a tribble from them, my first tribble from them, and I immediately named her Peanut Hamper. And then I got a giant tribble from them, and that one is Knick Knack.
Oh, you just need one more that's named who's the little guy that Mariner zaps at the beginning of the first one? The Boimler guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh man.
Shampoo.
Oh no.
You know what's so funny? I've had a cat named Riker since mommy, what are they doing? Are they kissing? Yeah, the bird person's kissing. I've had a cat named Riker for 12 years?
Yeah, at least more than a decade.
11 or 12 years I've had a cat named Riker. And from way back when I was an assistant, and my son was watching Lower Decks, and we got to the finale of season 1, and Riker shows up, and he turns and goes, "Oh, you named a character after the cat?"
From his perspective, you did.
It does.
I had a cat named Jean-Luc.
Ooh,
I did.
Fancy.
Cat likes any cat comment. You guys, we have to split in a minute. Do you have any last second? We love talking to you, but I do have to.
Oh, we love you guys too. We're so thankful for your time tonight. Like, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. I mean, it's always nice to talk to you all, and we just want to shower praise on you all the time. So like, I have 0 questions most of the time. Just like, what I love. What I love. What I love. I love what you do.
Like, listen, it fuels us because like. There's a lot of revisionist history where, like, when the show first came out, people were real suspicious. They weren't watching it. Like, a couple people went into it not wanting to like it, and it was really easy to dog on it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
And we were making.
Her name was Sabrina.
Like, it's tough because it's not only is it new Star Trek, which I know we all fear, but it's a comedy. It's fast. It's loud. You know, and it's unapologetic. Like, it doesn't, from the first scene of the first episode.
Yeah.
We don't turn up the burner slow. Like, I hit you guys with a frying pan in the face in the first scene of the first episode. And, you know, to me, I was like, you guys are either going to like it. I couldn't imagine people wouldn't like it because I was like, we're doing Star Trek. You know what I mean? And I think because I work in animation and because I knew how hard it was to make and how careful it was, and man, I fought that first trailer so hard. I was like, no, it doesn't speak to the show. And I think it, you know, and it's still really hard to advertise this show. It's really hard to tell people because you advertise it one way and it seems like you have to watch 800 episodes of Star Trek to get it. And you advertise it another way and it seems like it's not made for people that love the franchise. But it's right in between, you know, like it's hard. It's hard for us to tell people. That's why I had them do the code. I was like, the only way to do it is to watch it, put it on, like let yourself fall in love with these characters. You know what I mean? Like the thought of not getting like Mariner or Tendi or Boimler, like of Rutherford, like it's really sad to me. I don't have anything else like that. You know what I mean? And because they're really real to me, and I even love Ransom. I love Ransom.
Oh, I love Ransom.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
The SAG strike ended, and within 30 seconds, Jerry O'Connell was promoting Lower Decks. It made me
nice.
He's the best.
They've been dying. I mean, can you imagine going a whole season of your show and not being able to, especially a show, you can't say a thing.
That was me. And then the second the writer's strike ended, I was like, put me into New York. Let me start doing interviews. Like, let me jump in there. It was hard. But yeah, we love making the show. And Sabrina, I don't hold anything against you. Like, I didn't watch Deep Space Nine until I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you find the right time, and that's
everyone knows I had an aversion to animation, but I have come around, and this is one of the I have. And this show had a lot to do with it. It had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I don't like puppet shows. If there was a Star Trek puppet show, I'd be like, no thanks. That sounds real puppety.
Right.
No thanks. If you're like, no, it's the heart of Star Trek, you'll love it. I'm like, sounds like puppet show.
Yeah. All I know is that I'm sitting here right now calling myself Moopsie's mom. So let that sit with that. Just sit with that. You
just love bones. I get it.
Yes, she does.
You know, on that note, because my brain went someplace completely different.
Wow.
Yep. That's a whole show.
Sabrina and the Moopsie are both deadly creatures. You have to.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good. Very good.
That cracked me the frick up. And I just want to thank you actually for another thing. The Enterprise love, because I love that you love Enterprise.
I love Enterprise.
These little Enterprises.
I love like, yes. I love that one where they get stuck at the station and the station's going to start
automated,
like,
the AI station.
The ship. Yeah.
Right.
I made the entire season 2 finale is about the one where Reed got stuck on that one hull that the mine had gotten stuck on. They had to remove it. And I was like, oh, you can remove panels of the hull. I want to remove the entire hull of the Cerritos. And I remember Brad being like, you can't do that. And I was like, but I love Enterprise. I love Archer and T'Pol and man, I love Trip. So like, I just think Enterprise had a tough time because like it was like they were reacting to 9/11 and they were trying to be modern. Like I thought the swings were cool, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I want both. I want the cool Strange New Worlds Discovery type shows. You know what I mean? But I also am like, how cool would it be to have a 22 episode like heavily formatted, like non-serialized, hard to make, new crew, like late TNG era show with like some little hook, some Voyager hook, like whether it's a medical ship or whether it's a ship where it's equal parts Klingons and you know what I mean? Like
Right.
something cool. I pushed really hard. I was like, you know that show This Is Us? I was like, let me do a This Is Us in Star Trek where it's TOS, Monster Maroons, and TNG. Like, let me do like young guy in TOS, his kids in Monster Maroons and their kids in TNG. Like, let me do a multi-generational Star Trek. And they were like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm like, I know, it's so expensive. And like, I also pitched really hard. I was like, I had this dream of a Star Trek without any ships. Where I was like, what if it's
clutching pearls?
What if it's we don't even reveal it's a Star Trek at first. It's pre-World War, or it's post-World War III, and it's a group of scientists on Earth that decide, they're like, there's no more maps, there's no more communication. What if we start going around and creating a federation of like-minded people on Earth? Like, what if we explore Earth again and find who, like, let's remake the map of Earth. And then you find out at the end of the pilot that it's the beginning of Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like, that it's the concept of like humanity prevails out of science and respect and all that stuff. Sorry, Chris. But like,
no, I mean, I think we've all asked that question. How did this start? Where is the beginning? Are we ever going to find out?
Well, it starts with us, right?
Well,
like, we keep being told over and over again, like, there's no more evidence than iPads or like cell phones or every little thing and every social movement forward that I'm like, oh, we're going to get there. You know what I mean? And I'll shout out to anybody who hasn't watched it. Get out of here, Benjenium. Thank you. Anybody who hasn't watched it, the show For All Mankind on Apple.
Yes.
I don't have anything to do with that. Yes, DJ Kitty Cat. I don't have anything to do with that show. But I was developing something with Apple for a while, and they told me, like, and it was the same exact work on that. And they were like, the original pitch for that was, what if we see, hi Bob. Hi Bob.
Hi Bob. Hi Bob. Hey Bob.
Which I drunkenly yelled at the cast of For All Mankind at Comic-Con a couple years ago, and they all yelled hi Bob back, and I was like, I can
I love that.
Yeah. That what is a show where we go from, like, what is the alt history if we go from The Right Stuff to Star Trek, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like watching that show, and I'm like, that's the show that got me through the pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Us too. Yeah.
I love, and I wrote, you know, I'm the same thing I hate when I see people be like, I watched the first 2 Lower Decks and I couldn't jack off to it, so I stopped watching it. And I'm like, you know, it's like, maybe that's the crude I've had a drink way to say.
I never said that.
Sabrina, we read between the lines, Sabrina. It's always 2. So as I watched 2 Lower Decks, I think I've tapped out. But I read the first 2 chapters of Moby Dick. I get it. They have a boat. Because my show is.
you know when you guys won me over in first season, it was when there was the fight in the arena, and somebody went into the Kirk double fist.
Yes.
Double fist. Double punch.
I am a fan. I am a fan.
Double fist punch.
And he had to announce it.
So ethical.
I said then, okay, I'm there. I am in. Go ahead.
But For All Mankind, I swear to God, if you guys haven't watched it,
we watch it.
You guys watch it. I know. You're true nerds, and I love you for it. Push through to the episode. There's an episode where like everything clicked into place for me, which is where it went from being The Right Stuff to being an all-female driven NASA program.
Yes.
Where, like when they're doing the race out in the desert, like remember that?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, maybe this show is the best show ever made. You know,
that was it.
It was so amazing. Like, I love that episode. You know, because it took like the first couple of episodes. I was like, y'all lost me.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I like all the white guys and their sport and their Corvette.
We've seen it. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And that one little moment where it's like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
And from that moment, like creates this butterfly effect, and you're like, oh,
and then
amazing.
Yeah, then you get to high five, and you're like, I will die for this.
I know.
I will die for this show.
Falling on my sword for this show.
Almost, I named our cat Tracy Stevens, and then I changed it.
Tracy.
The cat is very Tracy Stevens too. She's like a little movie star.
Is she?
Oh my God!
I swear, you guys always do this to me. I'm always like, I'm going to join for 15 minutes, then I'm like, no, I'm going to stay for an hour. Listen,
I know.
No, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Thank you for being amazing fans. I can't wait for you to see season 5. Please keep watching all the Star Trek shows. We're so lucky to have them, and please share STLD, the code on Paramount Plus, so we can make more.
Definitely.
We're making season 5. It's awesome, and everybody in the chat, you are the best. I've been seeing a lot of DJ Kitty Cat. I'm seeing a lot of Brandon Forrester and Dave Gregory, like Jamal Taylor. You guys are awesome. Bruce McMillan. So thank you. And live long and prosper. We love you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Live music? How about some acapella?
You gonna play us out?
Anytime I ask Chris to sing, he's
I don't sing. I play guitar. Guitar is my. I can do it at guitar. Too bad. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you. See you. Oh man, how cool was that?
That was the best.
That was so funny.
So good.
Oh my God. Thank you guys. You guys are so wonderful to hang out with us this whole time. And we really appreciate you. We appreciate you all for listening. We appreciate your patronage and, all your support. And we appreciate the beautiful community that you help us create. It's all you guys. And, this is why we do it. So we can have our own great pool of awesome people to be with. Right. So thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, before we go, we just want to make sure you guys know that this Friday, we will have a great interview with Roy Evans from the Urban Nerd Con. So everything you want to know about the Urban Nerd Con, you can find out on our Friday show, which comes out on the 10th. So everything you need to know will be there. And hopefully you'll watch it. Find out about the prices, find out who's going, who's coming, what days, where it's going to be. And if you have any questions, you can always ask us.
And, we really want to support the Urban Nerd Con and the Young Nerd badges. So even if you guys can't get to the convention, you can help support to get a young nerd to the convention, and also some convention bucks for that young nerd to be able to walk away with something. So these passes will be handed out in the greater Atlanta area for kids to be able to come to the convention and see, the people who inspire them, who look like them, who can inspire them to see themselves in the future. So this is one of the reasons why we love this convention so much.
Yeah.
So,
Dave, we'll see you there, Dave. We're going to see you there.
Yeah. And then the next thing we have is that on next Tuesday, we will do, hold on for a minute. I think I put it, we're going to do For All Mankind. So All Mankind, the first episode of the new season starts on Friday. So Tuesday, we're going to review the first episode. The first episode. So join us for that. It'll be live. Come with your questions, just come. And if you haven't watched the series yet, go back and watch it and then watch episode 1.
Just heard about it.
Yeah, please don't sleep on that show. It is absolutely awesome.
Yep. And thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
It was great because you guys were great. Thanks, Jamal. We appreciate that,
really, A lot of energy in that chat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we love you too, Linda. Thank you.
Thanks
all right, guys.
And thanks to Mike and Chris.
Once again, yes, indeed. Our buddies. Thanks so much. We love y'all. And what time for Tuesday? It's 9:30.
9:30. Yeah.
9:30 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday.
Yep. So thanks a lot, guys.
DJ Kitty Cat, we love you, girl. All right, y'all. Good night.